Check me out. Yeah.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Mile High Mentors. Really appreciate you tuning in as always. We're super excited to have you here. Be sure to give us a follow, like, share, give us some feedback. We're at Mile High Mentors on Instagram, on Soundcloud, on Spreaker, and soon, very soon to be on iTunes as well. So no matter what platform you're finding this on and listening to, we really appreciate it. You guys are awesome, our audience. You guys keep us fueled up, keep us doing this thing. Today, I'm not even going to talk about any sponsors or promos or anything. I want to get right into this episode. I was super excited to do this one because this was actually our podcast behind the podcast. And so I pulled in my co-producer, Mr. Julius Hinton, the great, the wonderful, the powerful Julius Hinton. Awesome guy. We've known each other for a few years now, and we are on this journey together, creating and growing this brand and this podcast. And this particular episode is us behind the scenes talking about what we're kind of our why. Like, why are we even doing this in the first place? And how did we get this started? What were kind of some of the insights from other episodes, and a little bit, you get to hear a little bit of Julius's story as well, which is very interesting. The guy's been in the radio and media industry for a lot of years before it was like really popularized and commoditized by social media and the internet and all that good stuff. But just listen in, give us some feedback, and hope you guys get some great insights and information and some value from this episode. So please welcome me and my co-producer, Julius Hinton, to the Mile High Mentors podcast. Behind the podcast. Marcus, what's up? Thanks for joining us.
Who?
Who is it? Uploaded. Got Marcus. Seth. Guys, share this feed.
Who's Seth?
Awesome.
Hi, Seth.
Hi, Seth.
What's up, Seth? Shout out, Marcus.
Are you gonna control that thing the whole time?
No. I'm gonna put this on a normal, standard shot like this one, and I'm gonna let that bitch just do its thing.
All right.
Can we cuss on this podcast? Can I cuss right now? Am I not supposed to? This is my business.
Dude, I don't know. This is your podcast, too.
That is true. But I'm the behind-the-scenes guy. Now you got me in front of the scenes.
I know.
So, I'm going to interview Connor Doobie for all the people who have wanted to... Okay, now it's
We're going the other way around.
Ah, damn, I tried.
Yeah. No, you've been so much the behind-the-scenes guy. This is really freaking me out because I see this lagging on the corner of my eyeball. I see it happening.
It's got a little lag.
Dude, you've been so much the behind-the-scenes guy, and I had to pull you in front of the camera. You're here.
You did.
What's it like? Huh? You're on the other side of the mic.
It's cool.
Yeah.
I remember this. Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah.
I like this stuff.
It's good times, man.
Yeah. Never know what's going to happen next.
I don't know.
That's the part about being live. It's like... What can happen
next?
My
hands?
What are we going to do?
What do I do with my hands?
You don't know. You never know.
Julius, you're from Aurora, right? Originally?
Yep. Well, I was born in Colorado Springs, and then...
Oh, I did not even know that.
Yeah.
You came up when you were 2.
Yeah, when I was 2.
Okay.
But I'm technically born and raised from Colorado Springs.
Right. But your family's out of states now, aren't they?
Yeah.
Most of your families?
Pretty much all my family. I'm the only person in my family that was born in Colorado.
Ah.
So my dad's from Virginia, my mom's from California.
Uh-huh.
They linked up, had my brother in Maryland.
It's like the whole,
East Coast, West Coast
intersection.
They met, and then they had a Julius. And a Jamal, and all the other children. Shout out Jamel and Stacy. Shout out my family. We'll put it all out there.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was kind of the Titans met, and then they had a little Julius.
Like a little god was born.
It's like, no.
Small titan.
What's above a titan? That's what I was trying to think of.
I don't know.
Right there.
That's what I went right back to titan.
We can go with Ninja Turtle because I like Ninja Turtles. So.
All right, we'll go Ninja Turtle then.
Yeah.
So you're born in where are your mom and dad still together right now?
Yeah, we're still together. Yeah, 35 years strong. Live out in
that's impressive.
Yeah, definitely.
In Virginia?
Yep.
Dude, I love Virginia.
Virginia's for lovers, so you should.
No. Is it?
Yeah, it really is. When's the last time you've been out there? Have you ever been out there?
I drove through there like long time ago. We took a road trip from here to North Carolina and drove the entire southern coast through Mississippi, Alabama, Florida. Like,
jeez, that's a serious road trip.
Circled every single state. Went to Texas and drove back to Colorado. This was the year after I graduated high school.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Who'd you go with?
5 kids in the car.
Family or?
Family, yeah.
Okay, well, that's a straight National Lampoons moment there.
Oh, dude, it was the National Lampoons vacation.
Just missing a Wally World or whatever the fuck it was.
Yeah, Wally World was there. Just in spirit.
You saw it and drove past it.
Yeah. Where were we in the storyline? This is going to be much different than our other podcasts. I want to get to.
Are we following that same timeline? That's
no.
I mean, I thought we were
going
behind the scenes, like how we came up with this timeline.
Yeah, we're doing all of the above.
Okay.
I've been waiting forever to do this podcast.
Yeah,
so I'm super excited.
It didn't just come overnight, No. I didn't just come out of nowhere, know. I've been doing this.
Right.
So you've been doing this.
No. Not really.
Not really, no. Yeah, I mean, I kind of picked you up. But you've been doing your vlog stuff, man. And honestly, I worked with you. So, after I saw what you did after we left that place we used to work at, we'll just call it
Rhymes with Schnoodle by Schmanderson.
Schmule.
We can't say it. We can't say it live, but it rhymes with Schnoodle.
Not trying to slander anything.
No, not at all.
Let's just be.
Yeah.
We were very appreciative. But after that, I saw just the hustle that you kept doing, man. And, I've been doing podcasts for so long, and I kind of got an eye for talent, I like to think. Mm-hmm. I can see people who can talk in front of a mic, who can carry themselves, who are just, high marketability people. Mm-hmm. And I just saw you doing that afterwards, and I was like, man, this is what you need. You need more content. You need more consistent platform. Yeah. Something like... And
you were, like, the timing was... perfect. I mean,
that's the lucky part of it.
Yeah, like you were doing your not internship but training, media training here, and then we got hooked up and we're like, dude, I need content. I'm like, I need exposure. Let's get a platform going. Let's create something.
Yeah, I mean, I was doing podcasts like in 2012 and doing all that stuff, and then things kind of got dry around.
Is that when Life is Dope started, or this is a different podcast?
No, it's a different podcast. So I started Rooster Rap with my brother. We did that back in 2011. November 2011 is when we first started. And so we did that for 4 years. So we we're probably the most consistent show. I probably had a show Monday through Friday for let's say 2012 to 2014 for sure.
What was
consistent show.
Rooster Rap?
Rooster Rap was the local platform for any hip hop.
Why Rooster Rap?
Roots to Rap. Roots the number 2 rap. Yeah.
Oh, they said Rooster Rap.
Yeah, I got that a lot. I got that shit a lot.
Well, the way you said it.
I know. Well, Roots to Rap.
Roots to Rap. Okay.
You got to really emphasize the 2, and then it kind of makes you feel weird. So
now we're there.
But yeah, it's just the roots to the rap. So we would talk to local people, kind of let some of these local people shine who never got a chance to shine. Mm-hmm. A lot of people never had a chance to get in front of a microphone as far as media training, have an interview, lights, camera, all this kind of same stuff we're doing now. Yeah. Never had that. So, that was kind of the platform that we provided for people in the city. But that went really well. Like I said, we did it for 3 years, kind of got a good reputation out of it. Mm-hmm. But then, things kind of fell through. I mean, long story short, we started 2 online radio stations. Shout out to Free Speech TV, Free Speech Media. Started with them, but then things kind of got changed around there. So, the podcast section got ixnayed. Yeah. So after that, I kind of just got my marketing wings underneath me. And then, I found Denver Open Media about a year ago now, a little over a year ago. And I just like, man, this is a great opportunity. They got everything here. Why the hell am I not making content here?
Were you with Anderson while you got? Yeah, you had to have been when you got, or like almost right after when you guys were producing content and doing the other shows.
Yeah, I was doing it at the same time actually. So there was times like I was out literally canvassing people, and my brother would call me, be like, "Hey, I need you to call in this segment of the show," and I would call in out there, you know. So shout out to like guys like Kyle Bancroft. You know, he knows how the hustle was going out there. So yeah, it was definitely Marcus. Marcus definitely understood. So yeah, it was something
Marcus,
I definitely
Marcus.
Marcus. Definitely. So it's something I definitely always juggled in the background. Marcus is good. I mean, I know he's doing that solar company. So if anybody needs solar panels, you should definitely get that Sopris Solar call. Yeah, that's your free. That one's free, Marcus. That one's free.
Shit. So wait. I do want to go back though because I am actually. I don't know if we've had this discussion. Like, what is your story? Like, what was kind of your thing growing up? You're such an ambitious person. You see, like, where you want to be in the future. You know, I that's why I align myself with you because you have a big picture vision of where you want to be, and you're just a genuine dude. But you know, what was your story? What's your background?
As far as like how I grew up, or
what was your like childhood like?
Childhood is a lot of sports, man. I mean, childhood, you know, it was cool. Growing up in Aurora, I had a lot of different friends, a lot of different backgrounds. I think the one of the coolest thing about me is just the diversity I've had in my life. You know, a lot of people, especially I'll just say black people, didn't have that much of a diversity. You know, either you're the black dot or black dot meaning
out of a group of white dudes.
Yeah, well, black dot in front of a group of white dudes or a group of people who aren't black. You know, especially in Colorado, it's just kind of how it goes. But fortunately for me, you know,
well, you know what they called Fort Collins, where I was born and raised?
What?
Vanilla Valley.
Vanilla Valley.
Vanilla Valley.
I didn't know that one.
It's just not as diverse even as Denver.
Yeah, if you're not going to Denver, I'm like.
Is that a black dude?
Seriously. And really, sometimes I have to travel just to like, okay, black people. Okay, that's cool. But I mean, it's getting better out here. But I mean, as far as me growing up, I was fortunate. You know, I had people all different backgrounds: Vietnamese guys, white guys, black guys, Mormons, gay, straight, whatever you want to call it.
And in Aurora, like your whole childhood from elementary school to high school.
Yeah, and the cool thing is I talk to those people all today. You know, same people I'm friends with in elementary school, I'm friends with today. You know? Yeah, so it's kind of cool because I have a really small, I wouldn't say small, but it's a close knit of friends. You know, we've all been friends. Shout out Horizon Huskies. You know, middle school, we've all still been friends since like 6th, 7th, 8th grade. Yeah. Now I'm looking back as a grown-ass man and it's like, I've known you for half my life, literally.
Wait, what's the Horizon Huskies?
That's my middle school I went to.
Oh,
so
gotcha,
all of us were friends going to middle school.
I thought that was maybe like a group you created of like husky dudes.
Right? Huskies for us or something.
Yeah, like we're a group of husky people.
It's a good idea.
Yeah. Hey, marketing mind.
Yeah, right? Hey, husky people. Got something coming. But no, it was cool, man, just growing up around those people and just a lot of talented people. Like I just said, I just had a lot of dynamic minds around me as far as growing up. I mean, just got to shout out the people I grew up with. People are doctors, lawyers, EMTs, medics, you know, and even just common people who are just fathers and mothers, you know, shout out to all of them. So growing up around them just kind of made me strong, but sports is really what guided me. You know, I was always like team captain. I was like the vocal leader guy. I was probably like the crazy guy that you would see on TV.
Yeah, you promised me this is rolling, right?
Yeah, it's going.
This is on here. This
is also live on Facebook too.
Yes. We'll cut this and then people have to go listen.
That's going.
You're gonna have to go listen. You're gonna have to check out you're gonna have to check out the podcast at some point.
Yes, at Mile High Mentors. At some
point.
Life is Dope.
We're gonna be on
one of those two.
Spreaker. We're gonna be on Spreaker.
We're on Spreaker right now, but we got to get a logo.
Well, I'm back. Yeah. We have a logo.
No, 400 by 400 megapixels. I don't want to talk about that.
Okay,
right
we'll get into that
later. Welcome to my life. So fast forward all that. Let's just wrap up the sports thing. You know, I was playing high school football when All-State. Hurt my shoulder last game.
Did you play in junior high too? Junior high football?
Yeah, I played junior high.
Can you believe I played 8 years of football? This dude.
I kind of can.
I don't touch it now.
You don't have the bug? You don't miss it at all ever?
Dude, I do, but like, I feel like I was so burned out of it. Like, now it's like, like, even more so than a couple years ago, like, I don't even care to watch
professional
I know
sports that much anymore. Like,
you text me on Sundays while games are going on. I'm like, Connor's not watching
you're
football.
You're like, what are you? Dude, I'm
totally
I'm hustling.
Yeah, that's why I don't say anything, because it's like, you're pushing me, but I'm like, dude, it's 14-7.
I know. I like it. I'll probably go back to it someday, but right now, this period in my life is such a focus.
Since you're saying that, that's exactly what led me to what I'm doing now.
Situation, yeah.
I did football, and it was such a burning passion for me, and it got ripped away so horribly. I hurt my shoulder last game of my career, and then I came back, and it was terrible. But so I had to fill that void.
Lost all your sponsorships.
Lost all my sponsorships. All the girls ran away. You know what I mean? It was just like, damn, I thought you loved me, boo. No, you love the jersey. You love the jersey. But nah, man. And then, so I had to fill that void, and then I was going to school. Brother was going to school for broadcasting at the Colorado Media School, and then, just kind of put our powers together. And
this was in high school still?
This is after high school.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, right after high school, I had to fill that void. I was going to school, and it was kind of like, college is fun, but my biggest advice to college is that you got to know what the hell you're going for. Don't go to college and say, my aunt's a journalism, so I'm going to go to a journalism school. Like, no, the shit doesn't work out like that. You have to have a passion before you even step on that fucking campus. Yep. And so, that was kind of my problem. I didn't really have a passion. I did take a couple media classes as far as training, stuff like this. But, honestly, the times were behind. They were still kind of teaching you, VHSs and 720p in a 1080 world. Yeah. And I know 1080's coming. I know it's going to get better. I'm like, I'm not going to pay you to teach me the old shit. Right. So, long story short, I had to move a different direction. But, it kind of just led me into broadcasting. It's like, why wait? You have the camera. You have the access. I was lucky enough to find the resources. I found a good studio, professional studio, TV studio early on. And
here or before? What were you guys doing before?
Here, it was back at the Channel 12 building where they record all the CPT 12 content, but it was on the third floor, right across the street from Free Speech TV. I actually partnered with them later, but it was a guy named Mike Zinna. He had bought a studio there. And we kind of matched minds, him and my brother. It's like, hey, why don't you turn this into a big internet radio station? Yeah. And then why don't you start putting cameras in here? And why don't you start doing this? Why don't you start making a mobile app? These little kind of things. Right. And it kind of just built into the thing that I do now, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah. And if you guys want to hear the rest of the story, you're going to have to tune in to the podcast, because I'm going to end this live feed. Cut it. You're going to share this. I'll share this later. But go check us out. Go listen to the podcast, guys. We're 8 episodes deep. This is make episode 9.
That's true.
No. This is make episode 10 of our podcast so far. And we're just getting started. I'm going to close this.
Nice.
All right.
I'll go ahead and stop.
Now we're back. We're still on audio, though. So let's rock and roll.
So, that's basically, what got me in there, man. I just had a passion, and I had a void, and I had to find something to fill that void. But when I look back at it, the thing that it goes back to sports. Sports broadcasting, I think, is the toughest type of broadcasting, toughest type of production. Mm-hmm. And to me, it means the most, because I'm so passionate about sports. I want to see, did that guy catch it? But, that camera's got to be fucking in the right spot. Right. To catch it. And all the technicalities that go behind that is where I find myself today, because I've learned that you don't want to be in front of the mic if the stuff behind the mic isn't going well. Mm-hmm. And, that's kind of where I found my role at Rooster Rap and, Free Speech TV and all those other stuff I did in the past is just, being behind the scenes and making sure that goes right. So if I did want to ever get in front of the camera, in front of the microphone, at least I know how to make it right at that point.
And you prefer that now? Like, you like being behind the scenes of production and stuff? Or would you rather be more on the forefront of things?
It's pretty 50-50, to be honest. I mean, in the big picture of it all, I would be in front of the mic, in front of the camera. Yeah. But I just don't think right now is that time. I think the best value you can have, if you're Martin Scorsese, you can jump in front of the camera anytime you want to. Right. That's kind of the idea I've had, Be the big producer, be the guy behind the scenes who can always make the good quality product. And if you can do that, you can always be, part of that quality like I'm doing now. Mm-hmm. But the biggest thing is to make sure everything's right, make sure everything's good, and just be consistent. Everything is constantly and consistently. Right. Yeah. That's kind of the whole philosophy of it, man. Just really be focused on what you're doing, consistently do that, and that's really, I guess, the secret to what I've been doing.
What influenced you and your brother to get into the media space? What was kind of the major thing?
To be honest, it's kind of the black dot kind of thing. To be honest, in Colorado, it's really not a lot of black faces that you see on TV. And, recently I actually just, got awarded by the Colorado Association of Black Journalism.
Yeah, congrats, by the way, man. That's
I appreciate
awesome,
it, man. Yeah.
For you guys. I was hoping to go be the white dot at that event and just kind of like peek my face around, but
there was a lot of other ones actually. But
really?
But, just like watching TV, especially if you travel, maybe if you're like back east and you hear this, you see a lot of different kind of faces on TV. Mm-hmm. And out here, it's just not enough. We're just not out here. It's not a prominent presence of us. So trying to create that void for our community, be that channel. Mm-hmm. That was kind of just the passion of Rooster Rap. And everything else that we've done, the WKRP radios, the New Future Networks. And then beyond that, it's the people that I work with, like so many names I could just drop, but so many guys I've worked with, over the years just inspire me and just, kind of gave me a glimpse into my future. Like, hey, I want to be that successful, or I want to have that kind of intention. I want to kind of, just have that kind of impact on people. And, when you get around people, especially in this lights, when there's cameras and action, you kind of see that true person. But the biggest thing I like saying is afterwards. Afterwards, that really true human comes out, that real genuine, and, that you don't see all the time on this kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. That's kind of the thing I get off on as far as making content. Yeah.
I want to flip that. Like, I want this podcast to be the flip of that in a way. Because think of this, like, a lot of the professionals and stuff we bring on the show, they got to put on their corporate faces all day long. And
exactly.
And, go do this really taskful professional stuff where they can't really be themselves all the time.
Yeah.
So when they come on to the Mile High Mentors podcast, I hope that they can we can pull out a little, their real personality, make it as comfortable as possible. That's why we're taking this thing mobile. Go interview them at their house,
whatever's
or
comfortable.
Their office, whatever's comfortable.
Honestly, that's the kind of content I like to produce. I don't really like the cheesy. I mean, I could have done talent shows. I could have done, my nephew's football game and crap like that. I could have, but I really like the genuine, the juicy, behind the scenes, the honest stuff,
Yeah.
And anytime I do content, I think that's the one consistent thread, I guess, that's maybe been in it. It's like, shout out to Rooster Rap. He used to say raw and uncut content, kind of talking about something else, but it'd be raw and uncut, always. And that's kind of the same thing, we transfer over to Mile High Mentors. We do it on Saturdays usually. I want you to have that Saturday atmosphere. I don't want you to come in like you just left the boardroom and you want to keep that same mind state going. No, we want you to come here, act like it's Sunday morning and you have a cup of coffee and you're talking to, your niece. This is exactly what we're trying to do, and just provide that value worldwide. Mm-hmm. That's the biggest thing about the kind of content I do, I think. And shout out to the internet, really.
Relatable, yeah. Shout out internet.
Because it's trying to just give, that voice of the world,
Yeah.
Like, you don't usually get to talk to the world like this. Usually you just be on top of a fucking soapbox screaming. Right.
We have access to everybody now, which also is a part of why, personally, I really like our platform, because I want to showcase to our generation that you have access to everybody and anyone, and you can literally create success. The roadmap's out there. It's all there. It's on the internet.
Knowledge is power.
Yeah, you can go grasp it. You can go reach out to the CEO of that massive or even organization that you're interested in talking to.
Even our show, the opportunities that I've heard our guests talk about, the foundations.
With a guest already. We're 10 episodes deep. You've done business with a guest. I've done business with people I've even talked about being guests, and even business aside, just the connections.
It's very valuable on every side. That's the biggest thing. I mean, information's power, man. That's just what it comes down to.
Yeah.
And we're giving out quality information, and whether it's going to benefit you today, tomorrow, next year, 5 years from now, whatever it is, it's going to benefit you.
Yeah.
And that's just the biggest thing we can offer.
Yeah.
The best thing about it. It's valuable.
When you were growing up and you were a kid, did you kind of always have, major ambitions to just do something big?
Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, I thought I was going to be a football player, and I thought I'd be the best football player ever and all that kind of cliche stuff.
Pro
yeah,
athlete?
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I was lucky enough to be trained by pro athletes.
Mm-hmm.
I went to...
Really?
Yeah. Alfred Williams, there's a couple of guys that I came by, that have definitely trained me over the years that I just got to give shout-outs to. But, that was kind of the big thing. Like, okay, well, if these guys, see interest in me, I think I can do it. But when that dream ended, I still had that passion. You know, I still wanted to be major. I still wanted to do not the ordinary.
Right.
And so I was just trying to kind of navigate to find that light and see what that made it look like.
Yeah.
What that might have looked like. So.
In media, you think media is going to be your thing? Like, you're going to put your name in the media industry?
Yeah, I mean, I already am the podcast guy of Denver.
Yeah.
So I figure like
you are. I mean,
I am.
Show me another podcast that's being show me another producer of your stature that is producing this much quality content on a regular basis for this many years.
Yeah. And
now all these new ventures you're getting into as well.
It's just like the market. I feel like the market's finally catching up to my dream or my ambition. You know,
yeah,
before it was like online radio. It was like, oh well, it's not important. And now, just like 54% of people, actually listen to online radio versus FM radio.
Yeah.
So it's actually more than half now. So it's just like it's really opening up for our streaming goes and online content goes. And, I've got thousands of shows already under my belt, so I'm like, well, the world is mine now. Let's go. If you got a good idea, let's make it happen because I know how to produce it. I know how to take the idea and make it come to light. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Yeah, baby.
Yeah, man. Well, that's awesome. Like, so who, for you... You are, and I felt very much the same way. Like when I was 13, 14, and I thought everyone kind of thought this way, but I guess it wasn't my peers. I've always had that like thing in the back of my mind where it's like, I'm going to do something really, really big. I don't know what it is yet. I'm going to, help a lot of people. I don't know what it is yet, but just keep taking action. And every time I keep taking action, we get connected doing this stuff. And
it gets better and better.
It gets better and better, man.
Like I always say, if you're doing something uncomfortable, you're doing something right. Mm-hmm. And that's kind of the thing. I've put myself in a lot of uncomfortable situations. Mm-hmm. Like a lot of uncomfortable situations. And,
right.
Looking back on it, I've learned a lot from those situations. And that's, which I'm sure you've done the same thing too. You got to put yourself out there. I mean, that's how I found you. You're putting yourself out there again, I think a lot of people nowadays are just, public speaking so scary and, nobody wants to talk on the camera and everybody's got a camera on their phone nowadays. Anybody can go live, but it's just what are you providing?
Right.
Don't just jump on the camera because you want to be egotistical and you want to be famous.
Yeah.
No, give somebody something.
Give value, yeah.
Yeah, give value, yeah. Talk about something, shed light on something, Mm-hmm. But let your voice be heard, too, I guess would be the other big thing, In this day and age, everybody's got the power to be heard. And let me tell you, I know, and history goes, that was never possible. Civil rights era, you couldn't just make a podcast and, vent.
Could you imagine?
You know what I mean?
Back then, like...
Even female rights, I mean...
MLK days or anything like
MLK
that.
Had a
podcast? Dude.
MLK had a podcast.
That would be crazy.
I'm about to write a poem or some shit. No. Seriously, though.
We'll create a podcast about MLK having a podcast.
Seriously, I could. Don't get me started. That sounds like a pretty good idea.
Yeah.
Kind of does. But no, just the power of, I think, podcasts in general are, starting to become valued, but I still think it's a little bit undervalued. And then once you find a podcast that really meshes with your personal brand, whoever you are, it's the most invaluable thing ever.
Yeah, massively.
Yeah.
So, I mean, what's the end goal for you? Like, why do this podcast? Why do Life is Dope? Why do any of the other content? What do you want to do? What's the end goal?
The end goal is to, hopefully just kind of take over the market. My ideas are very unique. I feel they're very, forward thinking. Mm-hmm. I don't really see anybody doing what we're doing, how we're doing it. It's easy to get $1 billion and, throw some cameras on there and turn the mic on. But, again, what are you providing at that point? And, what I'm providing just from my local community should be done and replicated throughout the nation, throughout the world, I feel like. Mm-hmm. And that's really what I'm on, is just kind of showing people how this can be done so it can be done for others. Because, when it gets back to the ego thing and me being in front of the camera and all that stuff, that's really not what I'm in it for. I'm in it for just to get people's voices out, because I feel there's a million Connor Doobies out there who have great, things they can provide. but they don't know that they can do it this way, or if they're doing it's not coming out great. So, and I guess the end goal, well, I'm kind of already on it, but, you know, we got Life is Dope LLC, broadcast production company, so also / media agency, kind of goes into my marketing aspect. So I guess the end goal is just, you know, to keep producing great content.
Being a launch pad.
Being a launch pad.
Like Dr. Dre in the rap, you know, era.
Yeah, well, like,
but in the podcast world.
Yeah, production overall.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, when I think bigger, I mean, I want to start getting into movies.
Dude, I gotta hook
really
you
up
with Hudson,
ambition.
homie Hudson.
Does
he does
movies?
he does like he doesn't do movies now, but like his production style. Shout out Hudson. He helped me do my first couple of vlogs, which was like just baby stuff compared. Like he does these just amazing, just super detailed guy. Like
cinematic work.
Yeah, blow your mind. Like that guy's going to be producing probably $1 billion movies. You know,
see, I want to be the director of something that he produces.
Yeah,
that's kind of my end goal. But you know, I really want to focus just on content, multimedia content. That's really what the stronghold is. You know, I don't really need to get on TV. But luckily, thanks to Denver Open Media, I got my TV license, and I know how to work a TV studio, so that's dope. But, you know, I really just want to focus on just getting that great content, especially from the shadows, I would say. Yeah. Places that people don't normally look.
Yeah. Well, why this podcast? I mean, it's what...
Why this one?
I mean, what interested me about you doing this one, like, most of your stuff's very pop culture, hip-hop related, or black community related, and then here you are with like goofy ass me doing this, like, you know, not corporate, but just business, white collar business, entrepreneur. And I don't see it that way, but for the outside person, you know, part of your normal community, they may see it that way. Yeah.
Well, I mean, kind of break it down first to mentorship. I mean, man, I would not be here if it wasn't for the mentors that I've had. I mean, shout out Julian Mondragon for sure. I mean, I can list names on names, but I know that guy taught me a lot. There's a lot of guys who've taught me a lot, and I would not be who I am without that. So when you said mentors and providing that kind of value and creating that channel for millennials to mentorship, I know the value of that directly. Right. So I was like, yeah, I'm definitely in on that side of it. As far as, you know, the Mile High Mentor and the business leaders, I'm a business guy by day. You know, podcast is kind of my night job. And I don't think a lot of people really know that about me, or really may not see that. Maybe the hat fools them. But, you know, I was a manager at Anderson for 4 or 5 years. I'm a really sharp business mind kind of guy. That's really what I kind of provide in the Life is Dope, you know, thing that we do. And so, you know, I don't know. As far as this show, it's just really, you know, the business stuff really gets me off. You know, that's what I'm passionate about. You know, I really love the guests that we provide or that we bring in and the stuff that they provide for us. Obviously, I love the stuff that you make up, man, and
thank you, man.
The things that you talk about and the hustle that you bring to the show, the energy that you bring to the show. I know that's key. So basically, just all the parts were there. You know, when I think about doing new shows or any show, I just look to see what do I have to do and what's already there. Yeah. And, you know, the idea was great.
Yeah. Well, and it wasn't my idea. If you recall, like the origins of us sitting out there in the room. You know, if you're listening to this, you don't know what we're talking about, but sitting outside over here, like. And we sat together, and you said you want to create more content. I want to create more content. I need a platform. And we kind of almost mutually, like, the same light bulb came off.
For sure.
You know, mentors. You know, we talked to there's such a huge professional community here in Colorado. There's so many influential...
To back up real quick.
Yeah.
Like, that's the hardest part about a show. Yeah. Is the what and the why.
Yeah.
And we were talking like, yeah, Connor, you'd be a great show host, and, you know, I could do it great, but what are we going to talk about and why are we going to talk about it? Right. And so, yeah, when you said mentors, I remember that light bulb just kind of, we both just like, yeah, that's the one thing that we know we both needed to get to where we are today. Yeah. That's what everybody's going to need, and there's not anybody really providing that channel, especially out, you know, in Denver where we are. So
yeah. And it took, and like almost, and it's still like even today, still trying to hone in on what the platform really looks like. But that's what's really cool is like we're following an entrepreneur journey, creating this podcast as we're listening to these entrepreneurs tell their story about becoming these successful entrepreneurs. And so
it's a business.
Yeah, it's a business.
You have to treat it like that. Otherwise it won't be that.
Exactly, yeah. And that's what's been really exciting about it. I remember we were trying to come up with a name for it.
I know.
And like, what the hell do we call this thing? Like Denver Entrepreneur Cast, the Denver leaders or whatever. And then like, I was cooking breakfast and I was a little hungover that morning. Okay, I was like a little loopy, like out of my mind, and just and I was just like names. Mile High Mentors, and it just came, and I texted you right away, and you're like, yes, all right, we're gonna
when
do
those
it.
kind of texts come in, you just stop what you're doing too. It's just I remember just being like, no, that's good. That's good. No, wait, that's good.
no, that's not gonna work. Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
You know, because you try to doubt yourself. You always play devil's advocate on yourself.
Yeah, you have to.
You're like, no, that's good. No, that was good.
Yeah.
Connor, that was a great name.
Yeah, and so that's what I'm super excited about this thing is the origins of your story, origins of my story, what we're trying to accomplish here. But like this podcast could become a really interesting brand in the next couple of years. And there's a really amazing story behind it and our why behind it, you know.
Yeah, I mean, it all makes sense. We're both millennials. Mm-hmm. We both have mentors. You know, we understand what the value is. And then the people that, I mean, we're only 10 episodes deep, and the people that we've already brought in here, I'm already blown away. I mean, we've probably had almost, $500 million sit down on the show, maybe?
Yeah, probably. Collectively?
Collectively? I mean,
that blows my mind.
Yeah,
I didn't even think about that.
I just thought of that.
Well, and like in our guest from last week, Ash, like he's just knowing that we had someone on the show who was 2 classes below the now current CEO of Google.
You know,
it's like you don't know who that person on the street that you're talking to, who they're connected to.
But not even that. Like, I mean, you take that story and the same thing can almost go for a guy who didn't even go to college.
Yeah.
He's almost on the same level and doing the same thing, you know what I mean? Just as successful, just as happy. You know, it doesn't just goes to show you that there's so many different ways to success.
Yes.
And I think a lot of people don't understand that. They think it's just you go to college, you get married, you have a kid, and the next thing you know, you have a $100,000 job and everything's good. It doesn't quite work that way.
It's BS.
It's bullshit, yeah.
It's BS, yeah.
Everybody's got different paths, and it takes a lot of perseverance to get there.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. And that's also a massive driver for me is I talk to a lot of my peers, and they're like, I have to go to college, and I have to get my degree here. I'm not gonna be successful. I'm like. And I, you know, I need to go buy a house. I'm getting married next. I have to go buy a house.
Seriously.
I'm like, dude, do you know how many people I've talked to who have created or consumed their content who have created massive success in their life, and there's not like a straight path to doing that, you know, living that American dream. It's like a windy, twisty road.
Nothing's promised. Nothing's guaranteed.
Yeah.
And that's, it's so true, man. So true.
So I want to be this, I hope this platform, like, you know, not every episode's going to be for every single listener.
True.
But that one episode that just completely resonates with you and makes you a lifetime listener of this show, that's what I'm looking for. Like, wow, I got that one golden. I'm just looking for that one golden nugget.
Yeah, or just take a step back and take the bigger picture of the guests that come on and what the show's about, and just the overall things that they provide. You know, whether it's a tech company, whether it's an EMT, whether it's just a sales consultant. You know, they all say kind of linear things.
Yeah.
You notice that? Yeah, you know.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, and those are the things that, like, if you really listen to the show and you really follow us and, you really become part of the brand, you know, you really start to catch that. And it's like, I just got to be very, smart about the decisions that I make and, don't overthink it, but at the same time, vision, plan, and action. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Go back to the first episode. It's not rocket science. At the same time, it's not for everybody either.
Yeah. Yeah, but you can be, have a good work-life balance, be working in a job, and follow guidelines of these people we're bringing on the show, and like live a very happy, successful life.
Yeah, seriously. I mean, you could work for somebody and still be an entrepreneur. Like, I think that was episode 1. Was that Mark?
Yeah.
Said that? Yeah. That was great. I mean, there's so many things that just come to mind that, I've personally learned from the show just by producing 10 episodes.
Right.
So I can only imagine if you were 20, Like, I put my 20-year-old hat back on, you know, first year of college, or I guess second year of college, and kind of still bug-eyed. I'm not quite sure what I want to do. And then you hear this guy who just went to school with the, you know, CEO of Google, and he's saying, you just got to be patient, and you just got to keep working. Yeah. And then you hear another guest say the same thing.
Patience.
You should be
consistency,
a dumbass. Consistency. Don't
vision,
complain. Just be consistent.
Take action. Work.
Take action. Yes. Yeah. Work.
Yeah.
Go to work.
Yeah, it's all out there, man. And it's not work for the sake of working. And this is what I think is very different about our generation, the millennials. We look at this differently than the baby boomers and even some of the later Xers that I'm starting to find. That's another whole dynamic, the generation dynamic that we could go into with this podcast. But I mean, our work balance is very different, I think, and corporations are going to be very, very different once the millennial generation matures up completely into those positions.
Yeah, I think so.
And I don't know what it's going to look like, but I hope
think we'll model more of a European kind of an economy system.
You know, people are going to work odd hours. We're constantly connected. You know, I could work from anywhere in the world and successfully execute my job.
Yeah, it's going to change a lot of. It already is changing things. So, where it's going to go, who knows? But it's fun. It's fun to be a part of. It's fun to be innovative thinking. And like I said, this podcast is so kind of on that forefront of it. To kind of show what those differences are.
Yeah.
Especially when it comes to the millennial and different generation breakdown.
Well, in a job also part of the millennial fuck a job, People I think our generation is very different in that we're not just working for, having that templated cookie cutter job like the baby boomer generation.
Right.
There's that kind of roadmap. Yeah. We very much have to be driven by some sort of purpose behind it.
Yeah, that's very true. We're always looking to find a worldwide impact.
Yeah.
And I'm guilty of it too, so
right.
I can't
subconsciously.
Yeah, I want more people in the world to do podcasts. But yeah, I think that's a good thing, honestly, because I think that's where we should be as humans, as a human race, We got to think more globally because we're accessible. You couldn't talk to somebody in Brazil in one day in 1955. So why the hell would you think that way? I get it. If you're born in 1955, I get it. That's not part of your world. It never was part of your world. So you can't fault them for thinking that way. But at the same time, you can't fall into that trap because your uncle was thinking that way, or your old CEO who might be 65 is thinking that way. So you want to jump in and do the same thing he's doing.
Yeah,
it's not going to work for you.
Yeah,
and that's another thing I want to prove.
Yeah.
And that's what this show definitely does.
How many non-traditional, even so far, you see this person, you kind of put this vision in your head of what got them there, and then they start telling their story, and you're like, wow.
Todd. I think Todd's episode is a classic example of that.
Yeah.
When he just told his story of how he grew up and growing up in North Denver, and if you're from Colorado, you know what North Denver is, and it's just wow, and look at this guy with pure perseverance and pure, I call it hustle and grit. Look what you can do with yourself. And anybody listening to this, you can do the same damn thing. And that's the whole purpose of the show, to just kind of highlight that.
Yeah, I think that's a really good point, is you really can do or accomplish anything, because now this cell phone, everything, you have direct access. What I want to empower people really with this podcast is the ability to see what we're doing, and then them themselves say, oh, I can access that person too. Or that person is accessible. That means of interaction. That mentor, that guidance for me to create success. They're accessible. They want to make themselves accessible.
Seriously. And if you're in Denver, it's even better for you.
Yeah, we got this incredible community that's now a global hub. And actually, Amazon's maybe looking at putting their corporate office here, which I heard some rumors about. We're in an incredible position.
We're on the forefront of American culture.
Yeah.
And in a future way. I mean, I feel like California tried to be, but honestly, Cali's Cali. Mm-hmm. It's just
can't do it, Cali.
Can't do it, Cali.
Don't even try it.
Yeah, but we got a good mixture here. I mean, we got everybody. We're in the middle of the country. Everybody's moving here like a rapid pace.
It's a hub.
It's a hub. Yeah, it literally is. And it's for culture, though. I think that's the biggest thing that everybody's realizing. It's not because, the real estate's cheap. It's not because, water's this and you get this tax rate. No, it's because the culture that already exists here, people want to be a part of. Mm-hmm. It's a family state. Family always comes first here. Mm-hmm. That's very big, and I get it. And that's why I'm lucky enough to, have been born here and able to work here.
Yeah. I mean, culture is massively... Even though yes, in a lot of other states, like we're lucky as far as like, and I don't mean to say this in an ignorant way, like interracial communities.
It's true.
You know what I mean? Like,
have you been to the South? Have you been? I just posted an article the other day.
Yeah, like
it's crazy.
Yeah, my family's in Chicago, and I have black relatives, and they go through those channels. They like it's a major thing, and like. I feel like maybe, I don't know, maybe I'm wrong on this, but there's just a really good ecosystem for all of us to collaborate.
Yeah, you can do it here.
I guess, yeah.
Yeah, for anybody from anywhere can do anything, especially here.
Yeah, but you also do, this is a total side note, but you've also told me some interesting stuff that like there is some still really bad, I guess, discrimination out here, and like it just fucking blows my mind because
the thing is, like, that goes back to that global sense. Like, I can't really complain because if you've been to the South, it's nothing like that,
right?
But
holy shit, I mean, we got guys with tiki torches, I guess they're tiki torches,
tiki
like,
torch shit.
wearing KKK masks again.
Yeah, I mean, that's serious. I mean, honestly, it's really just a division in the entire United States right now, but
why? Like,
it goes back to that generational gap. I mean, same thing like I just said, people from 1955.
Do you find anyone in our generation that is really would like,
I hate to say
sincerely treats you differently because of the color of your skin? I
had some incidents at the former place we used to work at, actually.
Yeah.
Where, one story was like Martin Luther King. You got those calendars and Martin Luther King's birthdays, like in January. Mm-hmm. Somebody intentionally went out there and scribbled his name out and blacked out the whole day, just on a random calendar in the office. And it's just like, what the fuck is that about? Mm-hmm. And so that's the thing that kind of plays, amongst especially, black males is like, who's your friend and who's not. You never really know sometimes. Yeah. And it really does play in the back of your mind. Like, I talked to my girlfriend about bald white guys.
Yeah.
It's the damnedest thing to me because either like you hate me or you love me. It's like I have some really cool ass bald friends.
Yeah.
And they're nothing like that. You would never think that.
Right.
But, if you're ignorant, you never saw him, you might think he's a skinhead or something.
Yeah. Well,
just because he's bald.
And the reason I pry, like, I don't mean to go into some like racy conversation here. We're having, this podcast, but like, I'm just trying to understand because I don't feel that way and I don't get to see it from your perspective, and so it's just super fascinating for me. How does that affect you on a professional level? How many other professionals, like, is there some way that we can use this podcast as well to help empower the professional black community and the professional entrepreneur community?
Yeah, that's a flag I feel like I'm trying to carry as far as when it comes to production side. Yeah. Especially on the other side of the camera, I feel like there's not at least where I'm from, there's not a lot of black people over there.
Well, let's get more
lack of education.
Let's get more in front. There's tons of them, and I know some personally here in the Denver community. Like, I want to help empower that community if the need is there.
Yeah, I mean, really any. Yeah, and then there's a mentor. If you're a guy out there with 50 years experience and you want to talk to that community, that's what the show's for.
Right.
It's exactly the channel that we're trying to provide. Because at the end of the day, we talked about in the very beginning of this, it's all about information. Mm-hmm. In 2017, there's no excuses anymore. All it takes is time.
Stop being ignorant.
Stop being ignorant.
Stop being so ignorant.
Seriously. If you want to find out, Google it. It's that simple.
Google it. You don't got to go to college. You ain't got to go to school. Because
you ain't going to learn nothing anyway.
Oh, God.
And we're off the ring.
We need a whole nother podcast for this situation.
And that's the ring bell.
No. We can't just cut it. We just can't cut that. But, yeah, first off, number one, guys, I guess what I want to implore and empower now, and I think intermittently we should probably do some podcasts like this.
Yeah, I think this was...
Yeah, this is good stuff.
Good.
Just kind of
because we're talking to you, listener. We're talking to you right now.
Yeah.
You're a part of this show, and we want you to give us feedback.
Please, feedback more than anything. I say at the beginning of all intros, like, hey, if you can do anything, if you hate the show, give us feedback. If you like the show, give us feedback. If you think the show is mediocre, give us some feedback. I don't care. Tell us something so we know how to keep making this thing better for you guys. But
tell us if you're learning.
Number one, all the people that we've talked to, in this generation, there's absolutely no need you have to go waste your time in school. If you're working in some sort of career path where that's a necessity or necessary, do it.
True.
Go ahead.
But we're both college-educated people.
Yeah.
So I don't want to give the misconception of that.
And you know what?
I've learned a lot from going to college.
I wasted my time going to college.
I wasted my time too, and I went into debt going to college. Yep. I don't want to, paint the pretty picture. Right. But at the same time, college taught me how to learn, is what I tell people.
This is true.
Once you learn how to learn, get the fuck out of there.
This is true, but you can... And I completely agree with you. How to learn, how to retain information. But again, that's stuff that you can go learn. So... just know that colleges are a business. True. If you're going to pay that business for a service, then just make sure you have that understanding and you're getting the value that you're trying to get out of there. But just know, don't go to college just because you think it's the accurate thing to do.
Right.
It's going to lead to the career of your dreams because chances are you're not going to work in the job you went to school for.
Chances are.
And
I'm not.
And most of the professors that are teaching you stuff about college are not practitioners. They haven't done this stuff in years.
Seriously. I went to school, and I remember I'll never forget this. My economics teacher told me that you should save all your money in banks. This was right when the banks collapsed. I was like,
you're losing money.
You don't understand. You literally don't understand. Get Bitcoins.
Oh, God.
It's a whole different topic. But anyways.
Oh, you're going to start off a whole nother chain of events here, but we'll save that for another time.
But give us a follow, Instagram, please. Mm-hmm. We're nothing without you, listener. So please show your presence, like us, follow us, comment, give us your feedback. If there's, like you said, if there's something that you don't like, let us know. If you got an idea of a mentor, let us know. If you got questions, people, that's the biggest thing. Questions, let us know because we'll ask them for you.
Yeah,
and we'll get answers.
Yeah,
we will.
We will. We'll do it.
We'll do it.
We're gonna do it. Okay, you trust me. I don't know where we're.
Get in the chopper.
Get in the chopper. Now get in the podcast. So we're going on Stitcher this weekend. We're going on Stitcher. We're going on iTunes. Yeah. Oh, yeah. We're on Stitcher.
Check us out on Spreaker.
Yeah, we're going on... I'm sorry, Spreaker, not Stitcher. What am I talking about? What's that?
I don't know.
Oh, okay. Now we're...
That is a platform.
Yeah, anyways.
But Spreaker. Find us on Spreaker. You'll find us on iTunes.
We're expanding out. We're going to start partnering. We're going to start getting some massive brand leaders in here. Some of the most well-known people that if you've grown up in Colorado or been in the Colorado community, we're going to get some really incredible brands. But like Julius said, please guys, just give us your feedback. Give us a follow.
Give us a follow. Yeah. Give us a like. Let's be honest, guys. Can we be honest? Can we get the follow?
Can we get the like?
Can we get the like?
Can we get the like?
You know what people are looking at.
Give us a love. Or give us the hate. I'll take hate.
As long as it comes with a like.
I don't care if you like it. Give us something, okay? I can take hate. Some of my haters are my biggest...
He can. I'm an artist. I'm sensitive. Don't get me that. I don't need hate. Nope, I'm too sensitive for that. You love every episode, don't you? Don't you?
Dude, we got to do another... Because we got to get, more deep. I want to go more behind the scenes, but
I got a lot of stories.
We'll keep doing some storytelling stuff. We'll try and do some intermittent storytelling podcasts.
I got to interview you next.
Like this.
Yeah.
I'm not that fascinating. Why do you think I'm the interviewee? Because I'm just
lies.
kind of like.
That's why I do what I do, because I know the interviewee is usually the most important.
I'm just a white dot, bro. That's it. I'm just a white dot.
I'll be your black dot anytime. And on that note...
All right. That's a wrap.